Service, a United Way partner agency. We are located on the campus of Fayetteville State University, and our signal is carried by WUNC Chapel Hill. Today's date is April 9th, and your radio hosts today are Donovan and
Robert.
We will be reading the news from the Doom Daily, the Rayford News Journal, dated Wednesday, April 4th, and the Robertson. Five newcomers vie for commission. 3 incumbents and 6 candidates are seeking election to 3 available seats on the Hope County Board of Commissioners this year, with 7 running as Democrats and 2 running as Republicans. Democratic incumbent Tony Hunt, Harry Sutherland, and Alan Thomas are each seeking another 4-year term on the board, and Republican candidate Clifford Aubrey previously sought election to the county's government's board. Of the 9 candidates, 5 are running for election to the county commission for the very first time. Who are the 5 newcomers, and what made them decide to step into the local political arena to seek the office of commissioners? David Frump, Republican. David Frump is originally from Indiana, where the candidate described himself as growing up poor. So I know what's that's like, he said. Frump attended college in Iowa during the time the Vietnam draft was ongoing. Instead of waiting to be drafted, he joined the United States Navy, where he earned a commission. Frump served in Vietnam during his time in the military and afterward remained in the Navy. He retired after a 25-year career in naval service, drove lots of ships, and developed a lot of really good leadership skills. He described his time in the military. While planning to retire from the Navy, he went to school at night studying architecture, eventually earning 2 master's degrees. He began looking in the field of historic building restoration, restoring properties in the Washington, D.C. area. He also took a job with a defense company, working as a lobbyist on Capitol Hill. Frump's wife, Deborah, a Navy helicopter pilot, retired from her last posting in Rhode Island. Frump spent the last time before her retirement building houses in the area. Frump and his wife bought a farm in Hope County in 1987 and began commuting down on weekends to spend some time down on the property. In 1999, they moved to Hope County permanently. Frump began building barns for a living and retired 5 years ago. Today, Frump and his wife raise Welsh ponies on their farm in Hope County. Frump said he would like to encourage marketing of a development in the western part of the county near Carolina Horse Park. The area is attractive to people who own horses and want to live in the area but don't want to pay more county land prices. All they have to do is come over here. That's one of the things I would like to see change, he said. The candidate decided to run for office out of a desire to see Hope County grow, with the ongoing SBI investigation a tipping point for his deciding to file to run. Hope is a growing county, and it's surrounded by a lot of opportunity, but it's really not growing, and it's not developing the infrastructure that it should, the jobs, and frankly, when the SBI raided the county office, I decided now was the time because I don't think we ought to be having the SBI raiding county officers, he said. Trump also said he has connections to education and is interested in supporting education if elected. I see the schools are in desperate need of help in Hoke and in North Carolina, he said. His background in the military helped prepare him for potentially serving in public office, Trump said. Trump is running as a Republican candidate, as one of the 2 Republican candidates seeking one of the 3 seats on the Board of Commissioners. Trump and fellow candidate Overby will not need to face one another in a primary election. Trump and Overby's names will not be on the primary ballot in May, but will be on the general election ballot in November. Angela Carter Jones, Democrat. Angela Carter Jones describes herself as a military brat whose family moved around a lot. As she grew up, though, she was born in North Carolina and ended up attending Hope County schools for a large portion of her life. She celebrates with the Hoke High Class of 1996, even though she didn't end up graduating locally. Her father served in the military for 27 years. Jones is an attorney in Hope County and runs her own legal business in Rayford. She opened her practice in 2009. Her work with her law practice takes her across Cumberland, Robinson, Scotland, and Hope counties. Jones is deeply involved in the community, volunteering in both professional and organizations and groups. Asked about her volunteer work, she said she worked with almost too many projects and programs to list them all. It would be impossible for me to list all the stuff, and only because I believe that public service is super important, to whom which is given much is required. She said Jones works with the youth ministry at her church, mentoring and guiding children at Praise and Worship Ministries in Red Springs, where she also sings in the choir. Outside of her church, she also routinely mentors young people in the Hope County community. Parents call me and on a regular basis, "Can a child come spend a day with you?" I do that, she said. As an attorney, Jones also keeps her name on the list of court-appointed attorneys who defend clients who are unable to afford to hire their own attorney. It gives me an opportunity to speak to young folks and the folks who are dealing with situations and may be in need of some guidance. I think my story is a little bit unique, and so it helps me be able to speak to them, she said. Jones dropped out of school and had a baby when she was a teen. She went back to complete her education while raising her child and went on to earn her law degree. Her experience helps her mentor others, she said. I left home when I was 17. I was a high school dropout and I was a teenage mother. And despite all that, I'm where I am today. And just tell people, don't give up, she said. Jones also volunteers as a basketball, softball, and baseball coach for youth through Hope County Parks and Recreation, and has served on a youth assistance program through the Fayetteville Urban League. She has also offered free legal consultation for the Hope County Domestic Violence and Sexual Assault Center and worked with a local basketball team's booster club. I believe it's very important to stay involved, she said. The main reason Jones decided that time was right to run for office is her belief that public service has lost their direction. I think that some of the folks in the position that they're in have looked to make this a long-time job instead of a service to the public. Our communities are not growing at the rate that they should, she said. We're centrally located, and we've got our money going across the county line every weekend, every day, because we don't have the infrastructure here to support the growth we need. And it concerns me because I plan on living here for the rest of my life. My kids are growing up here. It's important to plan for the future, for our future. Thurman Little, Democrat. Thurman Little was born and raised in Red Springs, where he attended school and graduated from Red Springs High School. In 2000, he moved to Hope County, where he married his wife, Daphne, who is a Hope County native. The couple settled down in the county. I've been living in Hope County since then. Little said most of his family now lives in the county, including his parents, his siblings, and two of his 4 children. Little is a production technician at Goodyear Tire and Rubber in Cumberland County. I'm just an ordinary normal guy working at the plant, he said. Little has also given back to the Hope County community by volunteering as a youth mentor for students at local middle schools through a program hosted by the Unilever Corporation. This is the first time the candidate has ever considered running for a political office. Little said he began considering the possibility of running in order to be a voice for the little people in Hope County. I think it's time for a change in this county, and I think I'm a guy for that job. I think we need somebody here to think about the little people, he said. Being aware of current events in the community and seeing the needs that exist are also part of why Little wanted to pursue a seat board of commissioners. If elected, he hopes to work to improve the quality of life for people, particularly those living in rural areas of Hope. Just follow some of the things that are going on in the county, and some of these rural areas is what's making me want to do more, he said. I'm here for the people. I'm not here for me. I'm not trying to collect a check or get financial gain on this. I actually want to help the rural community, the community that's outside of Rayford. We're talking Arabia, 5 Points, Rockfish area. Little said, I want them to know they're a part of this too. It's not just Rayford. Terrell Samuel McMillan, Democrat. McMillan was born in Moore County, but his family has lived in Hope County for years, and he considered himself a Hope resident, born and raised. In the country part down on Shannon Road near the county line, he added, McMillan attended local schools and graduated from Hope County High School. He went to college at Fayetteville Technical Community College and now is enrolled in Phoenix University, where he is pursuing a master's degree. McMillan has 2 children and is recently divorced. He said he is one of 2 general managers of Butler Funeral Home and based in Red Springs, providing funeral services for families throughout the area. In his field, he oversees the day-to-day operations of the businesses, including making arrangements and working services and visitations. McMillan is also technically retired due to a disability resulting from a car accident 4 years ago that left him injured. Another driver fell asleep at the wheel and caused the wreck and left him permanently disabled. McMillan said, I do have a lot of time that I can donate, and I'm not worried about money or anything like that. This is not for my personal gain, but to ensure that the county has what they need, he said. The candidate volunteers his time in the community in a number of ways. He serves as the assistant director of the Antioch Fire Department, where he helps to oversee 36 firemen. He recently has decreased our debate from $500,000. We just bought a new truck all the way down to $114,000. So we're moving, and we're still looking at buying another truck, hopefully this year, he said. McMillan also served on the advisory committee for Red Springs and has a business located there. He also volunteers with events at the high school. I'm all about giving back, but it's not about giving back to the upper class or the lower class. Everybody has the same level playing field, he said. His experience in business in particular have helped prepare him for running for public office. Patience is a virtue, and people have to have someone they can trust. We've got to have people who are all on the same page, he said. I've been in my community all my life. I'm serving families in the funeral industry. I've grown up here. What really made me want to enter into this race is that a change has got to be made, McMillan said. We've got to have better resources and things like that for our children. We need more jobs, terribly. We've got houses going up, but we don't have businesses coming in to support people. We're losing a lot of tax dollars that are going across the line for people to shop and do things like that. Graham Pohl, Democrat. Graham Pohl was born and raised in Hope County and as one of 6 children in his family. His father owned several local businesses, including a ready-mix concert company. As a young man, he earned his EMT certification and volunteered with the local rescue squad for several years. Pohl graduated from Hope County High School and went on to attend the Citadel Military Academy, graduating with a degree in political science with a concentration in law and legal practice process. Government has always been something that interests me, but I've never run for public office before, he said. His great-grandfather, D. Scott Pohl, was the first mayor and justice of the peace for the city of Rayford, and also a state legislator. Pohl worked in business management for several companies, but said he is not fond of the term manager. He prefers leadership as the focus. He's worked in varying levels of leadership over the years. The candidate said, "What I've always enjoyed the most is working with people. I'm a people person. I've learned since growing up it doesn't matter what race, color, creed, there are some great people out there," he said. Pohl said he loves when people he's working with become successful, but that he also wants to see more accountability from local government in Hope County. I love to see people succeed, but I believe the accountability at all levels, and that's an issue. I've stated on a public media that's one of my issues and concerns. With our current county, all levels, all departments, right to the board, Pohl said. Pohl said he decided to run for office for the first time after being approached by several people encouraging him to seek election. I prayed for a long time about it and finally decided I would, he said. Hull said that if elected, he would like to bring more opportunities for citizens' input to be implemented. I'm running for the people of Hope County. Again, I'm a people person. I believe people should have more input in what happens in the county. Not show up, but be heard for a few minutes occasionally, and that's the end of the program. I even like to explore things like community citizens advisory communities, so we have more input from the citizens. More transparency would result, he said. The News Journal is in the process of gathering responses to questions of local interest from all 9 candidates seeking office for Hope County Commissioners. All 3 candidates seeking office for Hope County Sheriff, both candidates seeking election to the North Carolina State Senate District 21, and all 3 candidates seeking election to North Carolina Senate, North Carolina State, House District 48. Responses will be published in upcoming issues of the News Journal. All candidates in each race were asked the same set of questions, some of which were inspired from Hope citizens concerned in an informal poll posted on the News Journal Facebook page. Readers can also look for candidates' responses and more election coverage in the upcoming issues.
Rayford commits to $6 million rehab of plant. The years have been unkind to the Rayford Waste Treatment Plant. City leaders are preparing for its rehabilitation, a project that will cost an estimated $6 million. Yes, city resident sewer bill will go up before it's all done in perhaps 2022, says City Manager Dennis Baxley, but he says it's too early to say how much. The amount of increase necessary and implementation will be gauged next year after the impact of the meter replacement project is realized. We don't want to charge any more than necessary to cover the debt service, he says. With unanimous action last week from Rayford City Council to act on an engineering plan, the process is really just beginning. We've been putting on Band-Aids, and the Band-Aids have been getting bigger and bigger. That's the problem, says Trudy McVicker, Rayford's operations manager, who's also in charge of environmental compliance. She, Baxley, and Utilities Director Roy Ginn showed the plant and its challenges during a tour on Thursday. This fiscal year, says Baxley, Trudy keeps showing up at the office with purchase orders that are getting bigger and bigger and bigger for replacing and repairing, so it's time to nip it once and for all, at least for the next 20 years. The plant is humming along, adequately treating the 1 million gallons or more of waste that comes in daily, and its output into Rockfish Creek is actually cleaner than the creek's water, says Ginn. At the final stage of treatment, he lowers a cup attached to a long pole into the water, raises it, pours the clear liquid into his hand. That's ready to go in the creek, he says. Matter of fact, if you were going to go swimming, you'd be better off to swim right here than you would be in the creek. There's less fecal here. Again, says the issue isn't capacity. Rayford's plant has plenty. Simply that much of the equipment is 50 years old and needs replacing. Concrete is crumbling from years of exposure to chemicals. Rails are rusty. A generator, capable of sustaining the plant's operation during power outages, is past its prime. The water pouring across Ginn's fingers is a far cry from the waste that enters the plant just a few dozen yards away. The smelly effluent from citizens' homes and local business and industries enters through large pipes. It's foul-looking and contains icky stuff you can see, such as tissue paper, gloves, plastic bags, bed sheets, sticks and eggshells, and icky stuff you can't see, such as nasty bacteria from fecal matter. Its treatment is what keeps people safe downstream. The water coming in and going out is sampled every 15 minutes. We remove around 99% of the solids and the bacteria in the water from when it comes in to when it goes out, Ginn says. It's an ongoing thing. You watch it daily, hourly. We keep testing. Trash is removed. The water is raised uphill by 4 big pumps. clarifiers remove solids, which are pressed and sent for processing to be used as mulch. The water is treated with chlorine, and the chlorine then neutralized by sodium sulfite. Since House of Rayford shut down its processing plant in the city a few years ago, the volume of water entering the plant for treatment has halved, and the plant has lost a source of revenue in the process. But treatment must continue, and Ginn says, if you plan on being in the wastewater business, you gotta do this. You got the good out of it.
Economic Developer steps down. Hope County Economic Development Director Don Porter has resigned from the position he has held for nearly 2 decades, and the search is on for a new director to market Hope County to businesses and industries. Porter trended his letter of resignation last month with an effective date of June 30th. Since assuming my duties with the county in 1999, it has been a pleasure to work with you and many others on bringing new jobs and capital investment to Hope County and improving the quality of life for all who call it home. I look back with great pride on what I've been able to accomplish working together to leverage our finite resources. Porter wrote in the resignation letter addressed to Chairman Alfred K. Dewey, Leach of the Rayford Hope Economic Development Board. Porter thanked the Development Board for its trust and confidence in him over his 19 years of work with Hope County, and additionally stated his heartfelt gratitude to local authorities, including the Hope County Board of Commissioners, Rayford City Council, and Rayford Mayor John K. McNeil. There obviously remains much work to be done, but I hope you share my great pride in our efforts. We have exceeded expectations in many areas, maximizing modest assists and amenities as effectively as any economic development program in North Carolina. Porter wrote, Porter is a military veteran who retired as a colonel after a long career in the United States Army. He previously served as a chairman for the Cape Fear Valley Health Board of Trustees and as a member of the Fayetteville State University Board of Trustees. He has won multiple accolades and honors for his work, including the 2010 Economic Developer of the Year Award from the North Carolina Economic Development Association. Porter oversaw an historic period of rapid growth and development for Hope County as a mid-2000 base Realignment and Closure Act, or BRAC, brought thousands of new residents into the county. During that time, county officials worked to expand utility services, establish new zoning ordinances for subdivisions, build a wastewater treatment plant and several schools, and establish the county's industrial park site. Hope County and the city of Rayford are now seeking a replacement. The position is classified as part-time and does not offer benefits. The base salary is $55,000 negotiable and commensurate with education and experience. The director performs a wide range of duties focused on supporting businesses seeking to create or retain jobs in the city of Rayford. The Hope County, and as such, play an instrumental role in promoting both as a great place to live, work, and conduct business, A job description posted to Hope County government website states the director, working in partnership with a network of agencies and resources, serves as initial point of contact for business looking to locate to Hope County, assist existing business, plan to expand, or seeking assistance in helping their business achieve its potential. Among the job duties expected of a director are serving as community ombudsman to assist businesses navigating local processes, working with site selectors and industrial and commercial realtors and other agencies to coordinate activities aimed at obtaining necessary zoning permits and other approvals as needed for new development and business prospects, and serving as a resource for the development community, property owners, businesses, and community organizations. Candidates for the position must have at least a bachelor's degree in marketing, sales, communication, economic, community development, or a related field, and 3 to 5 years of successful demonstrated experience implementing economic development related strategic and techniques. The position is open until filed. More details can be found on the county's website, http://www.hopecounty.org/.
This is the Southeastern North Carolina Radio Reading Service, a United Way partner agency. We broadcast from the campus of Fayetteville State University, and our signal is carried by WUNC Chapel Hill. As a nonprofit agency, we rely on public donations. To request your support to continue our services, when making charitable donations, please keep the Southeastern North Carolina Radio Reading Service in mind. Our address is P.O. Box 35029, Fayetteville, North Carolina 28303. If you have any questions or comments, please call us at area code 910-672-1600 or toll free at 1-844-709-5656. Your radio hosts are
Donovan
and Robert, and we are proud to serve you today. Other Stuff by Ken McDonald. The 16-month-old grandbaby was down for the weekend. She communicates mostly with sign language. If she wants more, smashed bananas, pummeled avocado, what looks like regurgitated peas, she taps her 2 little hands together and resembles a squirrel playing with seed on my bird feeder. If she wants specifically bread, which she often does, she taps an arm and resembles one of those guys on an aircraft carrier signaling to the pilot. Finished is flicking her bib like, "Get this nasty pea residue off of me." Never signs for, "I want to go outside," "I want to go inside," grandmother, grandfather in that order, mama, daddy, and "I want to ride the rumba." Joking about the last one, she did not like riding the rumba. If there was a baby sign for WTH, that's the one she'd have used. Anyway, I thought it would be funny to teach her some rogue signs. I've already started working on an alternative sign for water, signing out H2O. And others when she sees her Aunt Leanne, my daughter, who is trying to teach her to call her La-La. I think it would be great for Annalise to bump her fists together like Ross on Friends. I've never seen a TV program, but Leanne has often used a gesture on me, and I'm pretty sure I know what it means, and it ain't nice. "Annalise, who's that?" I might ask as Leanne enters the room. Bump, bump. It would be hilarious payback. The possibilities for subversion are endless. It's why there are grandfathers.
Elements of Class Team Steps Up. The youth step team Elements of Class, founded by Coach Jeffrey Catherines last year, has been busy attending competitions and bringing home trophies at many step team events throughout the Southeast Elements of Class was named Grand Champion in the HBCU Classic Show in Sumter, South Carolina, in the Step to the Stage show in Charlotte. The group won first place in both of those competitions, as well as placing first in shows in Clinton, Rocky Mount, Greenville, Virginia Beach, and Garner. Other performances include participating in National Night Out events at the Rockfish Motorsports Speedway, Jamming for Jesus, the MLK celebration in Lumberton, and Black I and Black History Extravaganza in Fayetteville. The team has been invited to perform at the 10-year anniversary Step Show in Lady Jazz, founder of the It's Showtime Step and Dance competition in Atlanta during Memorial Day weekend. The team is comprised of 19 steppers ranging in age from 8 to 13. The team practices 3 to 5 nights a week at the Hope County Public Library conference room and in the drama room at West Hoke Middle School. In the last year, they have competed against step teams from Virginia to Georgia. The team members are also conduct community service. Elements of Class team members include head coach Catherine's, assistant coach Destiny Hammerin, Nene Walker, Madison Washington, Piper Hill, Nemaya Grandy, Zaya Corbett, Kristen Jackson, Sequoia Sutherland, Delia Guzman, Arthur Jones, Chris Walker, Anila White, Dashnindra Regions, Amar Morrissey, the Asia Morrissey, Janita Bright, Camia Prince, Jordan Jones, Jada Jones, and Jamila Melvin. Besides the trip to Atlanta set for May, the team also plans to go on to the competition to compete in the competition in Florida, New York, and Texas, in addition to North and South Carolina.
Off to the races, broad-collared philosopher Ron Huff. Life has a lot of twists and turns, speeding up and slowing down, fixing things that go wrong, and maneuvering around the obstacles that get in your way. Take all of that into a few days, and you might find yourself in Sebring, Florida, at the car races like Charlotte and I recently did. It was a twist and turn just getting there. The idea was presented out of the blue by Charlotte's ex but still active brother-in-law, Jerry Phillips. We hang out with Jerry a good bit these days. He has been going to the Sebring races for 40 years and is probably already planning for next year. A few months ago, when he mentioned that he had space for Charlotte and me in the 40-foot motorhome he was renting, she surprisingly jumped right on it. Although I love fast cars, I have only attended one proper race in my life, that being a second-tier NASCAR affair that was run in Rockingham years after that track was crossed off the A list. Not wanting to be outdone by a woman on a predominantly testosterone-oriented activity, I chimed in that of course I wanted to go. It soon became obvious that they were both serious and that we were on board. Through the next couple of months, the excitement increased and the planning moved forward until the day of departure finally arrived. At that time, Jerry was like a kid waiting for Santa Claus. We, 5 in all, would drive down to Orlando in 2 cars, pick up the motorhome and caravan the last 2 hours farther south of Sebring, where we would find a good parking spot on the first day the gates opened. Racing bliss would then ensue for 4 days until the winner of the 12-hour endurance race was crowned at 11 p.m. Saturday night. You get to know someone better when you travel with them, and it was soon evident that Jerry had left little to chance. He had every stop planned in advance to refuel, eat, and follow nature's callings, which in this case must be pretty predictable. For better or worse, he was conservative in his estimates, and we had no problem sticking to the rules. We picked up the motorhome, whose operational details were glossed over by one of those guys who wants you to know how much he knows, but who doesn't know all he should know. Question marks were in my eyes, but Jerry seemed to be following comfortably along, so I left it to him. Jerry drove that behemoth the 2 hours to Spring, where, while lining up to enter, we got our first hint of the atomic bumblebee sound of the cars, the hospitality of the event. I became immediately fascinated with the variations in sound of each car. Some buzzed and some thundered, some backfired, some didn't, but the sound seldom went away from 8 a.m. until the end of the day's events. We found a nice spot to park not far from one of the exciting turns on the track. Once the sliding extremities were extended, the home was quite livable. We hit the ground running as Jerry led us through the area where all the cars are parked and worked on. Seeing these beautiful machines up close was a highlight for me. These mobile garages were spit-shined and decked out to impress. We toured the grandstand and vendor areas as preparations were being made for the crowd that continually filtered in. We made friends with the girls in the beer tent, a place we would frequent. Parking areas filled in with thousands of campers, motorhomes, tents, and vehicles. As the sun set, we cooked on the limited facilities and discovered the TV only got 2 obscure channels, but enjoyed the camaraderie and the experience. Though sunny, the weather was cold for Florida. As we bedded down for the first night, we found that Mr. Know-It-All had failed to mention that the heat didn't work as we spent a cold night. Temperatures climbed every day until they were perfect on the final day of the 12-hour endurance race. We sure were glad we had packed warm clothes. The next 3 days would be filled with new sights, sounds, and adventure, along with a sacred task that could only be performed at Sebring. Join us for the next episode. More later.
Mediocrity in education seems just fine. Before 2011, Republicans claimed great concern over educational failure. Flustered schools sank in seas of mediocrity. Government and Democrats and the NCAE, essentially the NCAE, bore the blame. Only conversative innovators could rescue our kids from the swamp. Progress was urgent, if only after a brief but intense onslaught of school busting, the NCGOP has settled into comfort the mediocrity. Numerous crises go ignored year after year. In place of urgency has come with woefully delusional contentment, for Republican policies have failed one by one. Charter growth has squeezed the exit of the fallen from community public schools. Virtual characters thawed into the cellular class size requirements, long minced art and PE, and that crisis is not over yet. The black and white achievement gap has expanded under Republican dominance. Starkly, disturbingly, undeniably, our test scores have begun to stagnate or fall. Republicans care little. Nowhere is their indifference more obvious than the teacher pay. As usual, Cividence presents the most intense defense of conservation dogma. Chief Torchbearer Donald Bryson, jovial, boasted that the state's teachers make $2,000 more than the medication income. This was a declaration of victory, even though every teacher holds a college degree and only 1/3 of the state's workforce says the same. Challenged with the contradiction, Bryson stood his ground. Simply put, conservatives think it's okay to be 41st in teacher salaries. Scott cost of living, pay company comparisons, and any number of other arguments are on tap to justify this clear acceptance of failure. Teachers matter a little, just not as much as point scoring and fiscal minimalism. Expect a concession or two before the midterms. It will be, to use a obscure technical term, half-assed. Republican budget bakers can't even bear to offer half a loaf.
The obituaries. Timothy Johnson Roberts, 61, went peacefully to the Lord on Monday, April 2nd, 2018, with his wife and high school sweetheart of 39 years, Phyllis Huffman Roberts, by his side. A native of Ashley Heights and a resident of Monroe, this life was not big enough for him, and whether you were one of his golf buddies, a business partner, a neighbor, a fellow church member, a childhood friend of anyone close to him, or simply had the good fortune of making his acquaintance once, he made you feel like you were the only person on earth. He was a light in any room, organizer of group fun, dancing machine, and tickle monster. Most importantly was his leadership in his faith and family, where he led by example. From humble roots, he never let his past get in his way and made the life he wanted for his family. He had an incredible work ethic, working for Cuddy Farms for more than 15 years, and then founded his company D&T Management with partner Dan Turner to make sure everyone in America had a taste of Swaggerty's sausage. He always focused on his blessings and walked each day with his Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, who he gave credit for all his success. The service was held at 1 p.m. Thursday, April 5, 2018 at Lee Park Baptist Church on 2505 Morgan Mill Road, Monroe, North Carolina, 28110, followed by a celebration of life reception in the Family Life Center. Burial was private. The family asked any donations be directed to his church, Lee Park Baptist, where his friend and pastor, Chris Justice, and staff can continue to preach the word and love people. Online condolences may be made to www.gordonfuneralservice.com. Elaine C. Hendricks of 2699 Sharon Road of York, South Carolina, formerly of Rayford, died Monday, April 2nd, 2018. She was born October 11th, 1930 in Hood County. She was a devoted wife, wonderful mom, and devoted Christian who loved and was loved by many. She was blessed, and she blessed those who knew her. She would be missed greatly. A visitation was from 12:30 to 2 p.m. Thursday, April 5th, 2018 at Rayford First Baptist Church. The funeral followed at 2 p.m. with the Reverend Thomas Lee officiating. Burial was at Highland Biblical Gardens. Memorials can be made to Rayford First Baptist Church, Kings Mountain Chapel in Filbert, South Carolina, or to Wayne T. Patrick Hospice House in Rock Hill, South Carolina. Nathaniel Jackson Lanyard Jr., Jack, 68, of Ellabelle, Georgia, formerly of Rayford, passed away Thursday, February 8, 2018, at St. Joseph's Hospital of Savannah, Georgia, following a long illness. He was born in Savannah and was owner-operator of Lanier Enterprises, was a member of Puller Church, and served his country in the U.S. Navy during the Vietnam War. The funeral was held February 13, 2018 at 11 a.m. at Strickland Funeral Home, Puller, with burial at Lower Black Creek Cemetery. Jeffrey Lee Davis, 47, of Rayford, passed away Thursday, March 22, 2018 at Hospice of Scotland County, where he received excellent care. For several weeks prior to his passing, he received love, care, and support from his Aunt Nancy Thomas Davis. Before coming to her home, he received the same care from Aunt Brenda Price. No services planned. Services are entrusted to Crumpler Funeral Home. Virginia Montrose McCall died March 31, 2018, with her family by her side. Born in Hood County during the Great Depression, she knew about surviving in hard times, losing her mother at the age of 5 and caring for her blind father. She was one of 6 children born to Thomas Henry Monroe and Lillian McMillan Monroe. She enjoyed researching her genealogy with her sister and discovering that her Scottish lineage settled in the Cape Fear River Basin area, which is now Pope Air Force Base. When the government secured their property, they moved their home to Hood County. Through her heritage, she gained her membership in Liberty Point, Daughters of the American Revolution, and the Society of the Descendants of the Colonial Clergy. She was a member of Tabernacle Baptist Church in Rockfish, where she taught Sunday school and Vacation Bible School, and was a member of the Women's Missionary Union. She was also a past member of the Home Extension Club. She was preceded in death by her husband of 60 years, Henry Thomas McCall. The funeral was held Tuesday, April 3, 2018, at 11 a.m. at Tabernacle Baptist Church. Burial was in the church cemetery. Memorials may be made to Amadeus Hospice Care, 3215, 563 Hunts Drive, Building 3, Pembroke, North Carolina, 28372, or to the American Cancer Society, 8300 Health Park, Suite 10, Raleigh, North Carolina, 27615. Online condolences may be made at crumplerfuneral.com. Edwin Alexander McNeil died March 26, 2018 at age 91. He was born April 16, 1926 in Scotland County to Will and Millie McFatter McNeil, who preceded him in death. He attended Shaw School and was later employed in the city of Rayford for 25 years until his retirement. He confessed Christ at an early age as his personal Savior and lived a life of service in both his personal and professional life. He was always willing to lend a helping hand to those closest to him in any way possible, and a knack for creating nicknames for his children and grandchildren. When he wasn't tending to his garden, he could be found cruising the streets of Laurinburg, Rayford, and Red Springs, listening to classical music. The funeral was held Saturday at 2 p.m. at Spring Branch Missionary Baptist Church in Wagram, with burial in Lily's Chapel Cemetery in Red Springs. And Johnny Earl Beast died March 25, 2018 at age 74. He was born September 27, 1943. The funeral was held Saturday at noon at Mount Sinai Holy Church in Rayford, with burial in the McLaughlin Chapel Cemetery. That concludes the obituaries.
Two charged with selling cocaine. The Hope County Sheriff's Office arrested 2 people this week for multiple alleged drug crimes, including selling suspected crack and powder cocaine. Investigators with the Hope County Sheriff's Office Special Operations Unit arrested Kyle Flanagan, age 27, of the 400 block of Bureau Drive in Red Springs, and Kelly Standback, age 33, of the 900 block of Rockfish Road in connection with the investigation. Deputies charged Flanagan with possession with intent to sell or deliver cocaine, possession of firearm by felon, possession of a stolen firearm, carrying a concealed weapon, possession of a Schedule BI controlled substance, maintaining a vehicle dwelling place for controlled substance possession for an open container in passenger area of a vehicle and driving while license revoked. Flanagan received a $50,000 secured bond. Officers charged Standback with possession with intent to sell or deliver cocaine, possession of a firearm by a felon, carrying a concealed weapon, possession of a Schedule VI controlled substance, maintaining vehicle dwelling place for controlled substances, and possession of an open container in passenger area of a vehicle. Standback received a $5,000 secured bond. Flanagan and Standback were arrested April 2nd after a traffic stop on North Old Wild Road when Special Operations Unit investigators searched the vehicle what vehicle they were in. Officers located suspect crack, cocaine, powder, cocaine, and marijuana, plus 2 handguns, one of them found to be stolen. Man arrested for child sex crime. Investigators with Hope County Sheriff's Office have arrested a man from Shannon for allegedly committing sexual offenses against a child. Authorities reported deputies arrested Sherman Laurie, 55, of the 1600 block of Hall Road in Shannon and charged him with statutory sexual offense with a child by an adult and indecent liberties with a child. Officers called to the 1600 block of Hall Road in Shannon in response to an alleged juvenile sex offense. Able conducted an investigation and identified Lori as suspect. The suspect was apprehended at a different location without incident, the sheriff's office said. Lori received a $50,000 secured bond. The investigation is ongoing, pending further information. Man charged with rape. Deputies with the Hope County Sheriff's Office arrested a man this week for allegedly raping and assaulting a woman in Rayford. Investigators arrested Dale Locklear, age 44, of the 700 block of Owen and Joel Road in Maxton in connection with the case. Locklear was charged with second-degree forcible rape and misdemeanor sexual battery and assault on a female. Officers were called to the 200 block of Sedona Court around midnight April 1st in response to a report from an alleged forcible rape. EMS personnel arrested and transported the woman to an area hospital to be treated for injuries. Deputies identified Locklear as a suspect and took him into custody without incident. The investigation is ongoing at this time. According to the Hope County Sheriff's Office, Locklear received a $200,000 secured bond.
And this is the Southeastern North Carolina Radio Reading Service, a United Way partner agency. We broadcast from the campus of Fayetteville State University, and our signal is carried by WUNC Chapel Hill. As a nonprofit agency, we rely on public donations. We request your support to continue our services. When making charitable donations, please keep the Southeastern North Carolina Radio Reading Service in mind. Our address is P.O. Box 35029, Fayetteville, North Carolina 28303. If you have any questions or comments, please call us at area code 910-672-1600 or toll free at 1-844-709-5656. Your radio hosts are
Donovan and
Robert, and we are proud to serve you today. Continuing with the Rayford News Journal, dated Wednesday, April 4th, 2018, Shannon Bible College marks 50 years. Native American Bible College in Shannon is celebrating 50 years of training pastors, teachers, ministers, and missionaries for service in Christian ministry. 50 and Forward is the 50th anniversary theme. Beginning in January 1968 in local churches, NABC was originally named Eastern Indian Bible Institute. The Bible College expanded to a 100-acre campus and is now accredited with the Association for Biblical Higher Education. NABC is affiliated with the General Council of the Assemblies of God, Springfield, Missouri, and offers 2-year associate degrees and 4-year bachelor degrees. At the 50 and Forward celebration banquet March 2nd, Viola Locklear, 93, was honored as the oldest living alumna. Banquet alumna speakers included the Reverend Roy Clark, pastor of Faith Assembly of God, St. Paul's, class of 1972, and the Reverend Hedrick Jones, pastor of God's Holy Assembly, Shannon, class of 1996. The Reverend Charles Haddon, first president of NABC, was also present. Video congratulations from the Assemblies of God General Superintendent Doug Clay and the North Carolina Assemblies of God Superintendent Rick Ross were given. President James Keyes and full-time faculty are Assemblies of God nationally appointed United States missionaries. Several area adjunct professors also serve NABC. The college's goal is to provide a quality, affordable biblical education and ministry training to Native Americans, other minorities, and students of any race and people group. Student housing and meal plans are available. Registration for the fall semester opens April 16th.
Red Cross County Departments offer free smoke alarms. Senior citizens in Hope County can receive a free smoke alarm and personalized help making a fire safety plan for their homes as part of an ongoing program offered through the American Red Cross. The organization is teaming up with the Hope County Emergency Management and Hope County Senior Service to spread the word about the program, which seeks to install free smoke alarms for senior citizens who might otherwise not have the means or ability to do so. Hope Emergency Management Director Brian Marley, Senior Service Director Mary Hollingsworth, and American Red Cross Representative David Garrison shared information about the program with the Hope County Board of Commissioners Monday night. The Red Cross approached us about the program. Based on their data, they realized the Hope County in the past, they hadn't had a lot of success in putting in smoke alarms here, and they were looking to get the numbers up. Marley said, Senior Services is working to coordinate with the Red Cross to compile a list of people and address to get more seniors involved in fire safety efforts. The department will also specifically offer the smoke alarms to all the local Meals on Wheels recipients. Hollingsworth said the program can also send a safety expert to a senior's home to test existing smoke alarms to make sure they are in working order. The American Red Cross National Smoke Alarm Program started about 3.5 years ago and has installed over 1 million smoke alarms in seniors' homes across the United States, Garrison said. The goal was a 5-year goal that we could reduce injuries and fatalities by 20% across the country, he said. The nonprofit organization is working to increase the number to hopefully reduce the amount of lives lost in house fires. The number of fire fatalities in North Carolina and across the United States has gone up over the last winter, with an absolutely record amount of deaths from house fires, Garrison said. The partnership is making a drive to have Hope residents call in April 16th through April 19th to sign up, and smoke alarm installation will take place May 9th through the 11th. A FEMA team will be in the area to help provide manpower to conduct the installations, officials said. If senior citizens messes with sign-up date, they can still sign up for a free smoke alarm directly through the American Red Cross. It may be pushed back a little from the May 9th through 11th installation period, Garrison said. The program is just as much about fire safety education as it is about installing the fire alarms. During the installation, safety experts will work with the home's residents to make sure they have 2 escape routes from every room and know what to do in the event of a fire. Having a plan can also help save lives, Garrison said. It's an education piece plus the installation, so it is a twofold thing, he said. Several commissioners spoke in support of the project. Commission Vice Chairman Harry Sutherland praised the team effort between different organizations. I appreciate the partnership, and you never get anything done by yourself. When you carbonate and come together and collaborate, you get some things done. And I just want to say thank you, he said. The life you saved might be mine, Commission Chairman James Leach said. Commissioner Tony Hunt emphasized the importance of having smoke alarms in homes, recalling a fatal fire that claimed the lives of 2 good friends of mine about 5 years ago. You knew them. Henry and Elizabeth Gomes, seniors, died in an awful fire from their wood stove that night, and they probably could have gotten out if they had had a smoke alarm, but they didn't. Hunt said, anything we can do, we need to do. The American Red Cross can also provide training to groups and organizations such as churches who might be interested in being able to install smoke alarms in seniors' homes themselves. Garrison added, to obtain a free smoke alarm, including installation, senior citizens should contact Polk County Senior Services at 910-875-8588, April 16th through the 19th. The program is available at other times of the year as well as by calling the American Red Cross directly. Citizens can also request a smoke alarm by going online to https://www.redcross.org/local/north-carolina/eastern-north-carolina/home fire safety.
Owens honored as Religious Leader of the Year. The Fayetteville Cumberland Human Relations Commission recently honored the Reverend Mary Owens of Mount Pisgah Missionary Baptist Church with the Religious Leader of the Year Award. Owens serves as Christian Education Director for Mount Pisgah and is also President of the Fayetteville Cumberland County Ministerial Council. She is described as an active member in her community, additionally serving as a member of Greater Fayetteville United and other community organizations. Owens received the honor at the Fayetteville Cumberland Human Relations Commission's 50th anniversary. The award, among others, was presented during the annual Community Recognition Awards reception, March 15th. As the president of the Fayetteville Cumberland County Ministerial Council for the past 5 years, Reverend Owens has faithfully promoted diversity. She encourages FCC-MC members to actively participate in various projects of service throughout Cumberland County. A press statement about the awards said. The agency also provides scholarships to graduating seniors and hosts community service events. She, along with the council, strives to reach, teach, and release spirit-empowered ministers to promote evangelism, discipleship, church growth, and healthy churches. She has been instrumental in her role as FCC-MC's president and hosting the annual Martin Luther King Jr. Breakfast, which welcomes, promotes, and features individuals from all faiths and walks of life in the Fayetteville, Cumberland County areas. Owens is a retired educator and often facilitates trainings and workshops for her church. She is humble in her public demeanor and is truly a lover of humanity, a champion of her community, a servant of Christ, and a friend to all, the statement says.
Commissioners approved businesses zoning requests. The 3 local business ventures received approval for their planning request at the Board of Commissioners meeting Monday night. The commissioners voted unanimously to approve 3 zoning requests for properties located at 2545 Rockfish Road and 5233 Balfour Road, and a conditional use permit request for 1302 North Horace Walters Road. Christopher Carter requested that a zoning change for his 1.99 acre property on Rockfish Road, challenging it from residential agriculture to highway commercial. Carter plans to set up a tire facility on the property. Raz Davis requesting a zoning change for his 1.84 acre parcel of land on Balfour Road, likewise going from residential agriculture to highway commercial property. Davis intends to have a small car sales lot to the property. Additionally, Mitchell Kane and Jennifer Shattuck requested a conditional use permit to operate a bed and breakfast at their property on North Horace Walters Road. The property is a mile from the Carolina Horse Park, and their land has facilities for horses. The business's venture will seek to host visiting equestrians and their horses who are in town for various events at the horse park. The commissioners unanimously approved all 3 planning matters. In other businesses, the county board approved a 4-item consent agenda. After removing an item regarding an amendment to the county's agreement with Tyler Technologies to allow the county attorney time to review the amendment, the agenda approvals include a contract amendment for the county's work with the Davenport Group and general fund amendments for the health department and environmental health, and a fund transfer for inmate welfare at the jail. The commission also approved a sewer waiver request for a convenience store set to build on a 3-acre lot located at 1661 Rockfish Road. The convenience store is in the Phase 1 service area in which new businesses are required to hook on the county sewer service, but the service is not currently available in the location. According to the county officials, the board members approved budget amendments from the Hope County Sheriff Office to transfer funds from lapsed salaries and lapsed hospitalization line items to help cover the costs of jail and sheriff overtime salaries. The board also approved an asset forfeiture budget amendment. The commissioners held a closed session for a purpose of discussing personal before adjourning.
Community calendar. Items should be submitted for the community calendar by noon Friday before the publication date. You're asked to keep in mind that paste up of the calendar page is done on Monday before publication. Also, if an ongoing item has been discontinued or needs to be changed, you're asked to contact the editor as soon as possible. On April 11th, Hope County Parks and Recreation will host Senior Bingo in the Hope County Public Library from 10 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. There will be prizes and refreshments. All seniors ages 50 and older are welcome. You can call area code 910-875-4035 for more information. On April 12th, the Hope County Democratic Party will be having their monthly meeting at 6 p.m. They will be meeting in the conference room at the Hope County Public Library on 334 North Main Street in Rayford. All registered Democrats are invited to attend. On April 18th, Hope County Juvenile Crime Prevention Council regular meeting will be at 1 p.m. at the Hope County Public Library. This meeting is open to the public and lunch will be served. For more information, please contact Lorraine Landry, JCPC Coordinator, at area code 910-494-4380, or go to the website www.hcjcpc.org. On April 20th, register today for a family caregiver retreat taking time for me from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. at Rockfish Camp and Retreat Center, 26 Camp Rockfish Road in Parkton, North Carolina. This one-day retreat will give the caregiver emotional, physical, spiritual, and mental respite that is vital for the caregiver. Respite services are available, allowing caregivers to attend the activities and receive all of the benefits of the retreat. To register and inquire about respite services for the retreat, call Rachel Hodnett at area code 910-775-9779 or email rvh@lrcog.org by April 6th. Space is limited. April 21st, the Hope County Democratic Party will host its second annual Denim Gala at the Hope County Senior Service Center on 423 East Central Avenue in Rayford. 4 elected officials will be honored during this event. They are as follows: Rayford's Mayor John K. McNeil, Hope County Commissioner Chairman James Leach, North Carolina State Representative Garland Pierce, and North Carolina State Senator Robert Ben Clark. Tickets are on sale by calling area code 910-875-3737. April 23rd through the 28th, Hope County Parks and Recreation still has space available for a trip to the Ark Encounter. The cost is $525 per person, double occupancy, $505 for a triple, and $720 for a single. Contact Pat Graham at area code 910-878-1255 for more information. On May 1st and June 5th, Coffee with Cops will be held at Hardee's at 4 p.m. On May 4th and June 8th, American Red Cross First Aid, CPR, AED class scheduled for adult, child, and infant classes are held from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. Classes may be changed or canceled depending on availability of instructor, holiday, and inclement weather. Call the Hope County Health Department to register, or for more information, call area code 910-875-3717, extension 2106. Class fees for the CPR AED only is $45. For first aid only is $45. For first aid and CPR AED, the cost is $60. On May 5th, Hope County Parks and Recreation will host the annual Senior Citizens Mother's Day Luncheon from 12 to 2 p.m. in the L.E. McLaughlin Building, the Senior Room. We are accepting the first 50 participants to call area code 910-875-4035 or come by the office to register. The deadline for registration is April 27th. On May 8th, June 12th, July 10th, August 14th, September 11th, October 9th, November 3rd, and January 8th, 2019, Diabetes Support Group Program Calendar. Meetings are held the second Tuesday of each month from 5:30 to 6:30 p.m. at the Hope County Health Department. You can call area code 910-875-3717, extension 2106 for more information. Topic and Program Coordinator, April 10th, Know It, Control It, High Blood Pressure Program, Sessions 3, Eat Smart, Slow Down on Salt, Ova Little Bennett. May 8th, the topic is Know It, Control It, High Blood Pressure Program, Sessions 4, Eat Smart, The Mediterranean Way, Healthy Meal Demonstration, Ova Little Bennett and Shirley Smith. On June 12th, Stafford Chronic Disease Program, Session 1, Introduction, The Mind-Body Connection, Getting Enough Sleep, Ova Little and Bennett. July 10th, Stanford Chronic Disease Program, Session 2, Dealing with Difficult Emotions, Introduction to Physical Activity and Exercises, Falls and Balance, Ova Little Bennett as the instructor. August 14th, the topics, Stanford Chronic Disease Program, Session 3, Making Decisions, Pain and Fatigue Management, Endurance Exercises, Ova Little Bennett, the instructor. September 11th, Stafford Chronic Disease Program, Session 4, Better Breathing, Healthy Eating, Communication Skills, and Problem Solving. Ova Little Bennett is the instructor. October 9th, Stafford Chronic Disease Program, Session 5, Making Healthy Food Choices, Medication Uses, Treatment Decisions, Depression Management. Ova Little Bennett instructing. November 3rd, Diabetes Health Fair. November 13th, Stafford Chronic Disease Program, Session 6, Working with your healthcare professional and healthcare organization and weight management. Ova Little Bennett, the instructor, and January 8th is to be scheduled. On May 19th, annual Hope County Community Health Day and Yard Sale. Free screenings such as blood pressure, blood glucose, HIV, STD, car seat safety checks, and health information will be held at Hope County Health Department on 683 East Palmer Road in Rayford from 7 a.m. to 12 p.m. This event is sponsored by Hope County Public Health Advisory Council and community partners. For more information, call the Health Education Office at area code 910-875-3717, extension 2106. And notice, in order to keep our calendar up to date, we are adding an expiration date to the following announcements. If you would like the event to continue on our calendar after the expiration date, please call 875-2121 or fax 875-7256, or you can email Robin at thenews-journal.com requesting this at least a week before its expiration. Military Service Connected Meetings. Ralph A. Pander, VFW Post 10, meets the second Monday of each month at its post home on 145 Hanger Lane in Rayford. It is located off Doc Brown Road at the Rayford Airport. For information, contact Commander George Balsh at area code 910-875-4410 or email gbalch, Gbalch, at nc.rr.com or visit us on Facebook. This expires June of 2018. Disabled American Veterans Chapter 17 meets the third Monday of each month at 7 p.m. at 145 Hanger Lane in Rayford. It is located off Doc Brown Road at the Rayford Airport. For information, contact Adjutant George Bosch at area code 910-875-4410 or email gbosch@nc.rr.com. Calling all active and retired Navy, Marine, and Coast Guard to join Fleet Reserve Branch 259 located in Fayetteville. The branch and unit meet the fourth Tuesday of each month at 7 p.m. at a retired Military Association building off Gillespie Street. This announcement expires May of 2018. American Legion Post 20 meets on the second Tuesday of each month at 7 p.m. at the National Guard Armory on Teal Drive. All members and those interested are encouraged to attend. For information, call Calvin Eli at area code 910-261-6716 or John McCrae adjacent area code 910-286-1705. This expires June 2018. Special Forces Association Chapter 62, the Sandhills Chapter of Rayford, Aberdeen, Southern Pines, and Pinehurst meets the first Saturday of each month at 1800 hours at the Southern Pines DFW Post of 7318 Clubhouse in Southern Pines, 615 South Page Street. All present and past Special Forces soldiers are invited to attend. For additional information, contact Chapter 62 President Tom Galbexek at tngabs@yahoo.com. This expires May 2018. Others, if you would like to be a part of giving back to our schools and community, please join HCAA, P.O. Box 2113, Rayford, North Carolina 28376. To find out more about this great organization and to register, please visit our website and Facebook page. The website is https://hocaa.wixsite.com/HCAA. Facebook address is https://www.facebook.com/groups/Hoke County Alumni /Hoke County Alumni. This expires this month, April 2018. The Rockfish Community Board meets the second Thursday of every month at 6:30 p.m. at the Rockfish Town Hall building on 2950 Lindsay Road. Anyone can attend these meetings. More information can be found on our Facebook page, Rockfish Community Board, and on our website at www.rockfishreview.wordpress.com. This expires June 2018. The Hoke County Republican Party meets the third Thursday of every month at 7 p.m. at different locations countywide. For more information, visit our Facebook page, Hoke DOP. Visit our website at www.hokedop.com. This expires June of 2018. Hoke County Health Department WIC hours are Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Walk-ins are accepted. Call area code 910-875-2298 to schedule an appointment. This expires May 2018. And Hoke County Senior Services is open to all seniors 55 and older. Free use of exercise equipment, table games, and other games are available every day from 12 to 4 p.m. And this announcement expires June 2018, and that is your community calendar for this edition.
This is the Southeastern North Carolina Radio Reading Service, a United Way partner agency. We broadcast from the campus of Fayetteville State University, and our signal is carried by WUNC Chapel Hill. As a nonprofit agency, we rely on public donations. We request your support to continue our service. When making charitable donations, please keep the CENCRS in mind. Our post office, our P.O. Box number is 35029, Fayetteville, North Carolina 28303. If you have any questions or comments, please call us at 910-672-1600 or our toll-free number at 1-844-709-5656. Your radio hosts are Donovan and
Robert,
and we are proud to serve you today. Sandhills Hoke offers additional classes. Sandhills Community College Hoke Center is offering more classes spring semester. Participants who successfully complete the forklift operator course will be eligible for the forklift operator's license. Topics include the basic design of lift trucks, stabilization of trucks, maintenance, repair, costs, and safety aspects of operation. Forklift operator will be held April 27th from 8:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. and Saturday from 8 a.m. to noon. The cost is $75 plus the cost of the text. CPR for healthcare providers is for healthcare professionals who need to know how to perform CPR as well as other life-saving skills in a wide variety of in-hospital and out-of-hospital settings. The class will be held on Wednesday, April 18th from 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. An additional class will be held on Wednesday, May 9th from 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. The cost of the class is $54 and includes the card fee. A notary public is officially authorized to witness signatures on legal documents, collected sworn statements, and administrator oaths. Participants must have a high school diploma or GED and no felony convictions. Notary public will be held May 22nd and May 24th from 5:30 to 9 p.m. The cost is $75 plus the cost of the text. Sand Hills Community College continuing education team can customize courses to meet the specific needs of a business or industry, provide resources to assist in developing new training initiatives, or to maintain a support current efforts. Courses can be held at convenient times for you and your staff at any SCC location, your businesses, or other convenient locations. For business and career training, contact Lori Degree at DEGREL at sandhills.edu or 910-695-3939. For industrial and technical classes, contact Ronnie Pattern at 910-695-3925 or at PATTONR at sandhills.edu. Seats are still available for these spring classes. To register in person, stop by the Sand Hills Community College Continuing Education Office located on the first floor of Van Dusen Hall. You may also register by phone with a credit card at 910-695-3980. Registration hours are Monday through Thursday, 8 a.m. until 5 p.m. and Friday, 8 a.m. until 4 p.m.
Browsing the files. April 8, 1971, Silver Grove Baptist Church gets a new classroom building. The Reverend W.K. Mitchell cuts the ribbon. Trustees present were Will Pope, Harrison Peterkin, James Comington, the Reverend C.J. Cooper, John Worley, Bernice McLaughlin, Pernell McCall, and Lawrence Butler. April 8, 1971, James T. Johnson presents a check for $5,500 to help purchase a 60-acre landfill for the county. Accepting the check is T.C. Jones, chair of the county commissioners. With him are Richard B. Wallace, M.R. Mills, T.B. Lester, and Ralph Barnhart. 47 years ago, on April 8, 1971, a recreation program is planned throughout the county this summer if aid is received from Fort Bragg. The committee announced programs at 6 locations: Upchurch, Rayford Elementary, McLaughlin, West Hoke, South Hoke, and Rockfish. We don't have the money or people to equip even one park, let alone 6, said W.K. Morgan, recreation director. If we don't get the help from them, then we will have our basic recreation program of softball, boys baseball, and such like we've had before. The community Easter service, sponsored by the Rayford Ministerial Association, will be held at 6 a.m. Sunday at Highland Biblical Gardens. Reverend Alan Smith will be guest speaker. The city approves a proposal to operate a joint city-county landfill. The landfill will be managed by city personnel and operated with city equipment. The county will pay $10,000 for the first year's operation. A medical examiner system goes into effect. Sudden or unnatural deaths here will be investigated by a medical examiner from now on. 3 doctors are appointed: Raleigh Jordan, Robert Townsend, and W.J. Stenninger of McCain. A law to provide statewide medical examiners was enacted in 1967, and implementation began in 1968. Columnist Sam Morris writes, "We can't remember ever seeing the number of cars that were parked at Arabia Golf Course Saturday morning. We were talking to Brown Hendricks later in the day, and he stated that the first 17 people that came up that day all were in an automobile." An ad for Rayford Savings and Loan offers 6% paid quarterly on a minimum of $15,000. Passbook savings are at 4.75%. 25 years ago, on April 7, 1993, County Manager Barry Reed quits his job to take a position in Person County. He leaves Hoke nearly 4 years after starting the job. He says, "I think the direction the board wants to go is incompatible with what I as a person and I as a county manager believe in. I think the board wants to violate what a county manager form of government is about." He says the budget should be developed by the manager and presented to the board, not with prior constraints as the board is inactive. Plus, Reed isn't happy Commission Chairman Ellie McLaughlin instituted a hiring freeze bypassing the manager. Prison Legal Services files a lawsuit against the Hoke Jail for inadequacies. The organization says the suit follows Hoke's snail-paced reaction to complaints. 75 residents of the Thomasville and College Drive areas filled the city council chambers and complain of plans to annex them. "We really don't have anything to offer us," one resident tells the board. West Hoke Middle Principal Jack Burgess will be transferring to McLaughlin Elementary next year at his request. Glenn Langdon will become principal at West Hoke Middle. And in a continuing battle over deaths at the local radio station, Reverend James Ross says the tower still belongs to him. The building and the property were auctioned off last Wednesday.
Report: half of Hope kids are impoverished. Over half the children in Hope County live in impoverished or near poverty levels in their homes. According to statewide child advocacy nonprofit NC Child, over 56% of Hope County children live in poverty or near poverty. A recently released report from the organization stated, additionally, nearly a quarter of children in the county live in food-insecure households where their next meal is not guaranteed or may not be sufficient. According to the report, NC Child tracks data related to child and family health, such as the percentage of women receiving early paternal care, babies born at a low birth rate, low birth weight, and high school graduation rates, and other information. The group describes itself as a nonprofit, nonpartisan advocacy agency for children. Annual plant sale is April 14th. The annual Master Gardener plant sale is set for Saturday, April 14th. The sale will begin at 9 a.m. at Turlington School and end when plants are sold out. There will be a large selection of annuals, perennials, herbs, vegetables, shrubs, and more. Master gardeners are available to answer all of the gardening questions. Cash, checks, and major credit cards accepted. No early sales. For more information, contact Shannon Newton at Hope County Extension Office, 875-3461. Fruits, Vegetables Program to begin in May. Spring will soon bring fresh vegetables and fruits, and Hope County CSA Community Support Agriculture Program will begin in May. This will be the program's 7th year, offering fresh, in-season, locally grown vegetables and fruits. Spring summer produce includes such items as potatoes, onions, kale, green beans, cabbage, squash, cucumbers, tomatoes, sweet corn, strawberries, blueberries, among other fruits and vegetables. This year, the session will run for 6 weeks from May 23rd to June 27th. The cost will remain $15 per week or $90 for the session. Baskets can be picked up each Wednesday between noon and 5 p.m. at Home Food Market on Main Street in Rayford. For up to 4 baskets to the same address, baskets can be delivered. Throughout the session, the program will offer food tasting and provide recipes for your fresh produce. CSA sign-up can be done through Hope County Farmers Market at gmail.com. Please provide name, phone number, email address, mailing address, and preferred method of payment. The CSA program accepts all major credit and debit cards. Personnel checks made out to Hope County Farmers Market, SNAP, cards or cash. For more information, contact Wanda Cohen, 910-489-4842.
School briefs. Alyssa Pridgeon, a student at Sandy Grove Middle School, won first place at the North Carolina Science and Engineering Fair in Technology March 23rd. Her project was wireless power transfer using a Tesla coil. She is daughter of April Sanders Pridgeon. Gerald D. Nagichi Jr., son of Gerald and Dominique Nagichi, a first-grade student at Village Christian Academy, recently competed in the Association of Christian Schools International District Spelling Bee at Faith Christian School in Rocky Mount. He competed in the first and second rounds and placed fourth in the advanced level. 32 first graders from 6 private schools took part in the competition. Dinkins named to Provost list. Jermaine Dinkins of Rayford has been named to the Provost list at Troy University for Term 3 of the 2017-18 academic year. The Provost list honors full-time undergraduate students who are registered for at least 12 semester hours and who have a grade point average of at least 3.65. Student named to Scholars List. Heather Scheidenmauer of Rayford was named to the President's Scholars List at the University of South Alabama. The list includes full-time students who earn grade point averages of 4.0. Sargent makes Dean's List. Hannah Sargent of Rayford was named to the Dean's List at Salisbury University for the fall semester. The school is located on the Eastern Shore in Maryland.
Sports, Spring Roundup. High-scoring games for baseball and softball last week. Baseball. The boys split 2 games against Richmond on March 27th at home with 6-5, and March 29th at Richmond win 6-5, and March 9th Richmond lost 3-0. The boys finished the week off with a 10-3 tournament win on Saturday against West Bladen in Bladenboro. Hoke boys are 9-7 overall and 6-2 in the conference play. Softball. On March 27th, the Ladybugs suffered a lopsided 22-2 home loss against Richmond. March 28th, they bounced back with a 14-13 away win versus Southview. Thursday, they were handed their second loss of the week while away against Richmond 9-1. Saturday, they finished the week with a stunning 10-0 shutout win at home against Red Springs. The Ladybugs are 10-4 overall and 4-3 in conference. Former Hope High coach Tubby Smith headed to High Point. Former Hope County Bucks basketball coach Toby Smith has been hired as the new head basketball coach at High Point University, his alma mater. Coach Smith served as the head coach at Hoke High from 1977 to 1979 and posted a record of 28-18. It was his second professional head coaching job. In 1998, he won the NCAA National Championship with Kentucky. Most recently, he coached Memphis.
Military child abuse case raises complex issues for justice system by David Porter, The Associated Press, Newark, New Jersey. The allegations were shocking. An Army major and his wife accused of abusing their 3 young foster children through beatings, denial of food and water, and forcing them to eat hot pepper flakes as punishment. When John and Carolyn Jackson were convicted of child endangerment in 2015, prosecutors received another shock when the trial judge, casting aside their recommendation for prison terms of more than 15 years, sentenced Carolyn Jackson to 2 years and John Jackson to probation. A divided Third U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals ruled last year that a U.S. District Judge's sentencing was substantively unreasonable, that her rationale defied common sense, and sent the case back for resentencing scheduled for this week. Judges often say that imposing sentence is the most difficult part of their job, and the Jackson case amplifies the balancing act necessary to weigh the seriousness of the crime with the requirements of the law. This case is full of emotion and horror. There's a process and a way to get to a reasonable sentence, said Rebecca rRegional, a former federal prosecutor currently in private practice with Crow and Mooring in New York. There's a method here, and I think that's where the circuit court found fault. Jackson's first trial in 2014 ended when a prosecutor inadvertently referred to a 4th foster child who had died. The Jacksons weren't charged in his death, and Hayden declared a mistrial. At the retrial, prosecutors presented evidence children suffered broken bones and other serious health problems from the abuse, and were severely underweight and developmentally delayed when they were removed from the family home in 2010. The couple's attorneys argued the Jacksons' child-rearing methods might have been unconventional but weren't criminal. They also said the foster children had serious health problems before they joined the family. Since the Jacksons lived at the Army's Picatinny Arsenal facility in New Jersey, they were tried in federal court. Because child endangerment isn't a federal crime, state endangerment charges were merged into the federal indictment to go along with a conspiracy count and 2 assault counts. When the Jacksons were convicted of child endangerment but acquitted of the assault counts, prosecutors argued Hayden should sentence them under federal guidelines because the nature of the endangerment counts made them sufficiently analogous to assault. Defense attorneys disagreed and argued the couple can't be tried for one crime and sentenced for another. During a lengthy sentencing hearing, Hayden rejected the prosecution's argument, saying that applying federal assault guidelines was the equivalent of fitting a square peg into a round hole. She also accused prosecutors of being overzealous. "This is not a game," she said. "This is not the Giants versus Miami. This is not how many touchdowns do we win by." The appeals court called that comment inappropriate and faulted Hayden for not considering aggravating factors such as the extent of the children's injuries, characterizing defendants' conduct as misguided corporal punishment and mistaken or bad parenting. The district court refused to hold defendants responsible for the children's various injuries and medical conditions, the majority wrote. Highlighting the case's complexities, Third Circuit Judge Theodore McKee wrote in a dissent that he agreed with Hayden's reasoning, even though it is impossible for anyone with an ounce of compassion to read through this transcript without becoming extraordinarily moved by allegations about what these children had to endure. The U.S. Attorney's Office and an attorney representing Carolyn Jackson declined to comment on Wednesday's resentencing. John Jackson is represented by the Federal Public Defender's Office, which doesn't comment on cases. The case is an example of the judicial system working as it should, said Michael Weinstein, a former government prosecutor now in private practice with New York-based Cole Schultz. "It's a great check and balance," he said. "Yes, judges have tremendous discretion and authority, but there is someone looking over their shoulder evaluating what they do, making it conform in general, broad strokes with what the circuit sees as the law at the time."
China will do the right thing eventually. Washington. Amid global fears of an escalating trade dispute between the U.S. and China, President Donald Trump suggested that Beijing will ease trade barriers because it is the right thing to do, and that the economic superpowers can settle the conflict that has rattled financial markets, consumers, and businesses. But fostering more uncertainty, the president's top economic advisors offered mixed messages Sunday as the best approach with China, which has threatened to retaliate if Washington follows through with its proposed traffic even as Trump emphasizes his bond with Chinese President Xi Jinping. President Xi and I will always be friends no matter what happens with our dispute on trade. Trump wrote, China will take down its trade barriers because it is the right thing to do. Taxes will become reciprocal and a deal will be made on intellectual property. A great future for both countries. But Trump did not explain why, amid a week of economic saber battling between the two countries that shook global markets, he felt confident a deal could be made. The president made a fixing the trade imbalance with China a centerpiece of presidential campaign where he frequently used incendiary language to describe how Beijing would rape the U.S. economically, but even as Trump coiled up to Xi and pressed China for help with derailing North Korea's nuclear ambition, he has reattached up the economic pressure and threatened traverse a move opposed by many fellow Republicans. The Trump administration has said it is taking action as a crackdown on China's theft of U.S. intellectual property. The U.S. bought more than $500 billion in goods from China last year and now is planning to or considering on some $150 billion of the imports. The U.S. sold about $130 billion in goods to China in 2017 and faces a potentially devastating hit to its market. And if China responds in kind, China has pledged to counterattack with great strength if Trump decides to follow through on his latest threat to impose tariffs on an additional $100 billion in Chinese goods. After an earlier announcement, the targeted $50 billion Beijing also declared that the current rhetoric made negotiations impossible, even as the White House suggested that the talk was a way to spur China to the bargaining table.
Man dies in Trump Tower fire by Karen Matthews, The Associated Press, New York. The man killed in a blaze at New York City's Trump Tower was an art collector who spent time with Andy Warhol, but fell in hard financial times in recent years and went through bankruptcy proceedings. Todd Brassner, 67, died on Saturday at a hospital after a fire tore through his 50th floor apartment in a high-rise, which was constructed at a time when building codes did not require the residential section to have sprinklers. The city's Department of Buildings said Sunday the building did have working hardwired smoke detectors and that the fire department was first notified of the blaze by the detectors in the building's heating and ventilation system. The cause had not yet been determined. Brassner, who records show bought his unit in 1996, has mentioned several times in Warhol's posthumously published diaries with references including lunch dates and shared taxis. The artist signed and dedicated at least one print to him. But in recent years, Brassner came upon money difficulties. According to documents, his family had stopped helping him pursue buying and selling art at the end of 2014. In the last few years, he had been plagued with debilitating medical problems that have made it difficult for him to function. The fire sent thick, black smoke pouring from the windows of the skyscraper that bears the president's name. New York Fire Commissioner Daniel Negro said the apartment was virtually entirely on fire when firefighters arrived. Fire sprinklers were not required in New York City high-rises when Trump Tower was completed in 1983. Subsequent updates to the building code required commercial skyscrapers to install the sprinklers retroactively, but owners of older residential high-rises are not required to install sprinklers unless the building undergoes major renovations. Some fire safety advocates pushed for a requirement that older apartment buildings be retrofitted with sprinklers when New York City passed a law requiring them in new residential high-rises in 1999. Officials in the administration of then-Mayor Rudy Giuliani said that would be too expensive. Trump was among the developers who spoke out against the retrofitting as expensive and unnecessary. A member of the Trump family was in the 664-foot tower on Saturday. Trump's family has an apartment on the top floors of the 58-story building, but he spent little time in New York since taking office. The headquarters of the Trump Organization is on the 26th floor.
Court clerk spins memo to employees. Mount Airy, the clerk of court in Surrey County, said she never meant to require any of her employees to work for her re-election, even though that's what a leaked memo said. After the memo was published, clerk of court Teresa Odell told the Mount Airy News that she doesn't require staff to work for her campaign. She acknowledged that the memo seemed to indicate otherwise and sent a follow-up note. This job all allows you to care for your family and give them the things they need. The first memo sent March 27th read, "I've been good to all of you in some way. Now I'm asking you to get excited, to get on board and make this happen for me. This is our first campaign together as Democrats and Republicans. Communicate with me daily. Help me raise some money and follow up with voters." The memo said employees would be required to campaign for her, including taking vacation time, so they weren't doing political work while on the clock. You will be required to stand at the polls on May 8th for a half day. Vacation leave will be taken was the second item. Third said staffers were required to attend a Republican forum at church. She also told staffers she would be in the office much before the primary. "I will not be in the office very often in the next 35 days. I am hitting the campaign trail," she wrote.
The Associated Press, in brief, San Diego, injuries in human smuggling crash on California highway. A horse trailer carrying at least 18 people entered the country illegally overturned on a southern California highway just north of the border with Mexico, authorities said. Several people inside the trailer were hurt in the crash Saturday near the town of Campo, with injuries described as moderate and minor. 6 patients were hospitalized, the San Diego Union Tribune reported. A witness told the California Highway Patrol that a 2-axle trailer being hauled by a pickup truck began to fishtail and eventually tipped onto its right side along the northbound Interstate 8. Kittery, Maine. Crew remembered on 55th anniversary of disaster. Family members of sailors killed in the deadliest submarine disaster in U.S. history are grateful for the sense of community surrounding a 55th anniversary commemoration. The granddaughter of Charles Wiggins, one of the sailors who died on the USS Thresher, said it's hard for others to understand the loss felt by those who were left behind, the Portsmouth Herald reported. "We are fortunate today to be surrounded by people who understand," Victoria Salati said. "What we do here today is the best way to honor these men and to ensure they're not forgotten." Indianapolis, 4 hurt after knife-wielding man attacks crowd. Knife-wielding man injured 3 people in an attack in downtown Indianapolis after being told to stop playing a siren on a bullhorn, authorities said Sunday. 4 people, including the suspect, were hospitalized after the attack Saturday afternoon on the American Legion Mall and outside the Central Library located across the street. 2 were in critical condition and 2 in serious condition, Indianapolis Fire Department Battalion Chief Rita Reith said. Gary Madison, 57, of Indianapolis, faces 3 preliminary charges of battery by means of a deadly weapon, jail records showed.
This concludes our reading of the Dune Daily, the Rayford News Journal, and the Robianson. Stay tuned for an hour of Raleigh programming, then enjoy Off the Bookshelf at 4 p.m. You can hear a rebroadcast of this program at 7 p.m. on Saturday. Your radios have been Donovan and
Robert.
We've enjoyed being with you this afternoon. Thank you for tuning in with us. Have a wonderful day.